Recently, I made a video about the 10 sources of income I have at 37 and how 7 of them weren't in my life 5 years ago. Since sharing that video, I've gotten tons of messages asking, Steve, what are the best side hustles I can start right now? Today, I'm going to share with you 7 side hustles that I wish I had known about when I was getting started. I'm a big believer that there's no one-size-fits-all hustle, so I've broken these down into 3 different categories. First is digital, second is service, and third is creative. I've also ranked each one based on how much time you need to put in and how quickly you can hit your first $100. And to make it real, I'll share some of my own personal experiences and examples of people I know who are actually making money with these side hustles right now. First up, let's talk about digital side hustles, specifically with writing. If you like the idea of working from your couch, in sweatpants, or even the beach in Bali, then this is going to be for you. I feel like AI has pretty much changed the game when it comes to content creation. It's never been easier to get started. AI tools let you create content that looks and sounds professional. This means you can spend more time proofing and editing than creating the content in the first place. In fact, when ChatGPT launched in 2022, I used it to update my entire website's copy in a single afternoon. AI basically lets you work at lightning speed. So here's the thing, think about your local coffee shop. Their Instagram or whatever social media page is probably empty and outdated. They most likely know that content is key, but they just don't have the bandwidth or the knowledge to fix it. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to step in and solve that problem for them. In terms of time investment, I'm going to say that this is around a 4 out of 10. You're going to need to learn the tools first, but once you do, you can create content incredibly fast. In terms of difficulty to land your first $100, I'm going to put this at 6 out of 10. Side hustle number 2 is digital products. Now, selling digital products is one of the smartest ways to make money online. You can basically build it once and you can sell it forever. Think about something that you're really good at and turn that knowledge into a product that people are going to have a ton of value from. I developed this side hustle myself and created math and finance resources such as a budgeting calculator, money cheat sheet, and ebooks. In fact, when I wrote my ebook, Invest Like a Millionaire, I sold it between $20 to $40. And every time I made a sale, it was a really great feeling to get these purchase notifications on my phone. When I first started this up, I was kind of skeptical, but when I received my first email where it said that I made a sale, I was very proud of myself. I think at that time I was walking Domino, and then one day my phone just buzzed and I saw that I made a sale. And the cool thing about it was I wasn't in the office, I wasn't exactly working. Basically, someone found my product online, they clicked on buy, and then I got paid. The best part is because it's a digital product, I don't need any inventory or shipping. I'm going to say that this is 6 out of 10 in terms of time investment, and if you already have the knowledge, it's just about packaging it in the right way. In terms of making your first $100, I'm going to say that this is around an 8 out of 10. I'm going to say that this is a little bit more on the difficult side because there are a lot of competitors out there and a lot of competitive platforms like Etsy, other social media platforms, and the main thing here is that you want to make sure that you stand out. But if you can find the right niche and develop a pretty strong following, then you can get ahead very fast. The third side hustle is with online courses. A few years ago, I realized I was answering the same questions over and over. Then it kind of hit me, why not film my math classes, and instead of answering again and again, I can just kind of point people to my videos. When I created my first math video, I had no audience, no fancy website, just a laptop, a writing board, and something worth teaching. And with the videos that I made and uploaded online, this kind of fed into my tutoring business, my first ever successful side business. In fact, my exposure to video making has now led to my courses, coaching, and my community. Both of my RT1 and JTFF community include sequences of course videos, quizzes, and frequently asked questions. So how do you get started? Well, you can kind of ask yourself what's something that people are always asking for your help with. And really, that's probably the best topic for your course. Before you get ahead of yourself and you start spending hours making your course, make sure that you see what other people are doing and what courses they're providing. You can easily check this on places like Udemy or Coursera or other online course platforms. And then this is very important. You want to make sure that you talk to real people. Maybe it's your friends, colleagues, or other social media followers, and you want to ask them, what's a topic or skill you would all like to learn from me and would gain a ton of value from? The secret is that if you can teach this to a friend, maybe over a cup of coffee, then you can most likely turn this into a course. You just want to make sure that you can break it down step by step, just like what you would do for your friend or maybe even for your younger yourself. Now here's the thing, a great course with no marketing is kind of like a billboard in the desert. Nobody's going to find it. You want to make sure that you are putting it in front of people where they are already looking. So this means that you can experiment with running ads on your course that leads them to your platform or your website, or you can upload your course on places like Udemy or Teachable or Coursera, which may be ideal because these platforms already have a built-in audience. And really, once you've built your customer base, you've built trust. The fourth side hustle is with tutoring, which of course a lot of you guys already know is one of my favorites. As a former public school teacher, I love helping others, explaining things, and seeing people learn. So when I got the opportunity to tutor a couple of kids with their math and science homework, I knew that this was going to be the perfect side hustle for me. I feel like coaching and tutoring are some of the easiest ways to make money from the knowledge you already have. And the thing is, people are constantly looking to level up. If you have skills or experience in anything, like really anything, maybe it's with fitness or business or maybe using specific software, you can monetize that by offering coaching. Now with coaching, tutoring, it is an active income stream, meaning that it's going to be directly tied to the time you put in, but it can be incredibly lucrative. At my peak, I was making around, I think, $10,000 to $15,000 per month when I was tutoring math. As word spread, I received more referrals from my students and their parents, allowing me to increase my rates from $15, $20 an hour to $35 an hour to $70 to ultimately around $100 to $200 an hour. However, because income is directly tied to time, I learned to maximize my income by tutoring groups instead of one-on-one. I'd essentially charge each student less individually but earn more overall. So instead of charging one student $100 an hour, I would have two students and charge them $70 an hour. So this means that I would make $140 for tutoring two students at once. And one of the strategies that allowed me to scale a little bit larger was I was taking a lot of my physical classes and moving them online to Zoom classes. I was able to eliminate a lot of barriers like the physical space that I was able to tutor in and to eliminate the time driving between students, which allowed me to offer more tutoring sessions. Also, as a public school teacher, I was able to tailor my sessions to the California curriculum, which basically helped me ensure that I was delivering exactly what my students needed at the time. When I began my investment coaching, my first client came from a single Instagram post. They basically messaged me and 2 days later, I had my first paid session. I feel like if there's a topic that you're super interested in, that you're constantly talking about it nonstop, chances are people are ultimately going to be interested in learning more from you. Now, like what I said before diving in, you want to check if people are already paying for this type of coaching in the specific niche. And if they are, then that's a good sign. That means that this is a topic that a lot of people are interested in. With coaching, tutoring, you don't have to overthink it. Just keep it simple with a booking link, a short session, and a price that you feel comfortable charging. And you can post this on LinkedIn, Instagram, or even X. You just want to make sure that you get the word out there. And when you get your first couple of clients, one of the best advice I can give you is to get testimonials. So this way it acts as social proof you can share with other people that you've had a lot of success with your students. In terms of time commitment, I'm going to say that this is around 8 out of 10 since this is pretty much still active income. You're trading your time for money. In terms of making your first $100, I'm going to say that it's around 6 out of 10. Once you start with 1 or 2 clients, it can build up very fast because, of course, if you do a good job, you're going to get a lot of referrals. Oh, and remember, people aren't going to pay premium prices right off the bat. You want to make sure that you establish trust first. Okay, so you want to make sure that you start small, you over deliver, and then you can start to raise your rates once you build credibility. So that's pretty much what I did with my tutoring business. I had to humble myself first, and then I started to scale upwards. If you're someone who likes to see everything on a sheet, I pretty much consolidated a list of side hustles and figuring out how to increase your income on my money cheat sheet. It's a really great resource. I'll leave a link down below for you guys to download, and yeah, it's absolutely free. Side hustle number 5 is video editing. If you ever watched a YouTube video or TikTok and thought, oh, I can totally make this better, then video editing might be the perfect side hustle for you. YouTube, Instagram Reels, all these social media platforms is pretty much exploding right now, and the one thing that every creator needs is a solid video editor. And yeah, I use an editor too, and this is a quick shout out to my amazing editor Emmanuel who edited this video today. Now, a recent article quoted that there are around 66 million YouTube creators globally, and most of them don't have the time to edit their own videos, and this is really where you can come in. When I started my channel, the first thing that I outsourced was pretty much this, video editing. It was taking me a lot of hours, and I knew that it was slowing me down in terms of all the other business operations that I should have been focused focusing on. Remember, good editing turns average videos into viral content, and viral videos turn into revenue for you. This is why a lot of businesses and creators pay top dollar for this side hustle. If you want to get a creator's attention, my best advice is for you to provide value for that creator or business first. Instead of going up to them and say, hey, can I edit a video for you? You can get pieces of their previous videos and then just automatically edit a 1-minute clip for them and then just send it to them. And yeah, this is how I pretty much hired my first couple of editors, where I would look for editors that would give me an edited video first. I would kind of see what their skills are, and then I did my hiring process from there. So in terms of time intensity, I'm going to rate this around a 9 out of 10 because it's going to take a lot of time to edit one video, even if it's a short clip. In terms of making your first $100, I'm going to say that this is around a 4 out of 10 because there's a lot of demand for it. And once you get your shoe in, then yeah, it's very easy to make money. Oh, and also on top of cold emailing and cold DMing, you can also go on platforms like Fiverr and Upwork to look for gigs there. Side hustle number 6 is going to be web design. When I first started my business, I spent hours struggling to make a decent website. However, looking back, I felt like I was a little bit too stubborn and that I should have paid for a web designer to do it all for me. I also actually just met a girl at this YouTube networking event, and she told me that she started building websites in college, and now she's running a 6-figure agency. Basically, she's building, maintaining, and updating websites all from her laptop. In terms of time commitment, yeah, web design is going to take a little bit more time, so I'm going to rate this around 8 out of 10. In terms of making your first $100, I'm going to rate this around a 6 or 7 out of 10 because the challenge isn't finding work, it's trying your best to stand out from the other competitors. And remember the local coffee shop that we talked about, or maybe there are some restaurants in your city or your town. Well, you can kind of check if they have any websites, or if they do have a website, then is it really good? If it isn't and you feel like you can do a redesign, then there you go, you have a potential client. The 7th side hustle is with graphic design. As you're sifting through a lot of creators, other businesses, and you feel like their brand looks a little bit outdated, then people are going to assume that their products or services are outdated too. And this is where graphic design comes in. Logos, social media banners, business cards, pretty much every business needs them. If you can make things look good, you can totally get paid for it. I know a lot of people who just use Canva and not like Photoshop or anything complicated like that, where they now run full branding agencies. You don't need a design degree, just basically some skills that you can learn on YouTube and a portfolio. And the best way to get clients, you can cold email, cold DM, cold call people, and you want to make sure that you post your work online, maybe either on LinkedIn or even on Instagram. Branding is a huge industry, and a lot of businesses pay thousands of dollars for a strong brand identity. In terms of time commitment, I'm going to say that this is around a 6 out of 10. In terms of making your first $100, I'm going to say that this is a 5 out of 10 because I feel like businesses are always looking for fresh designs. And if you want to see how much money I usually make, I just made a video on my 10 income streams here.